This episode brought to you by Peter Wood's Museum of the Impossible.
What's a Museum of the Impossible? It's gonna be like Harry Potter meets Ripley's Believe It or Not. It'll be a one-of-a-kind, themed, interactive space where people can experience the impossible. But I need your help. To get the project started, I've set up a Patreon over at museumoftheimpossible.com. If you're able to throw a few bucks my way each month, we can build it together. Thanks for your support, and I can't wait to welcome you into the Museum of the Impossible.
Welcome to the podcast of the impossible. I'm Peter Wood, and my guest today is a magic performer and teacher who I've been lucky enough to hang out with for over a decade. It's the one and only Paul Spring.
Well, hello. Thank you for having me.
And I have my buttons in the right spot now, so I know what I'm doing.
It's recording. This is happening.
This is going out live. It's not really live. It's recorded. But all right. So I want to talk about teaching magic. This is something you've been doing for years, and this is something that I have a little bit of experience with, but definitely not to the level that you've been able to. You've got all sorts of. You do like summer camp, and sort of more, I guess, structured, as well as just, I'm sure you do it as like an add-on to magic shows and stuff. Tell me about getting interested into teaching magic.
I'm going to tell you all about it.
Please tell me.
I got involved with Discover Magic,
okay,
which was created originally by Michael Amar.
Okay.
And I got my license to teach it in 2015.
Okay.
And because of my own faults, I've struggled to sell it. I've struggled so much with it, but I think I just wasn't ready in the moment.
Okay.
It's an amazing program, and I've had varied success with it.
Okay.
I think so. This year I'm rebranding from Paul's School of Magic, which who is Paul, right? Like people.
I know who Paul is.
You know who Paul is. Sure. Well, why did you never come to my classes, Peter?
It's a long drive. I'm so sorry.
No, it's.
I already know everything too, so that helps.
It's been a struggle because it's a way different market than birthday parties.
Okay.
So for birthday parties, people hire you.
Yep.
You come, you do the show, then you leave, and they see the value in that right away.
Yeah.
For magic classes, you have to make the sell for every student that's there.
Right. Okay.
You don't sell it to just one person. You have to sell it to everybody there.
Yeah.
And the price is similar to what you would pay for maybe a birthday party.
Sure.
So this is a big ask. And I wasn't in the right mentality to sell that before. So it's like if you ask me to, I don't know, sell a car right now, like confidently.
Yeah.
I couldn't say the numbers out loud without feeling like, getting choked up in the
like how much money
$300.
Right. Okay.
Even then, even if I said like $120 for Magic Camp, I was like 120, and
right.
I could not confidently say to a like a school or a camp and say, look, this is what we offer. This is how much it is. We're a premium option as when it comes to Magic Camp.
Yeah.
We teach kids confidence, communication, life skills, all of that. I couldn't say it.
Right.
Not that I could say that well now, because I'm.
Well, but and I think it's also important for folks who aren't familiar with Discover Magic. The idea is like it sort of is a franchise, right? Like you're basically buying into, there are materials and resources that you have access to by being a licensee of this program.
Right.
And so then that helps a potential, like a parent who's trying to decide, do I want to do this? At least that it's not just Paul in your basement cooking up a curriculum and like, here's what I'm going to teach, Yeah.
And I thought it was going to sell itself.
Oh, okay.
I think that was what I thought. I said, wow, if I buy into this program, it's basically going to sell itself, because
I see.
When I saw the videos and I said, wow, this is amazing. The parents are going to see this. They're going to flock to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Okay.
And that's what happened with the phone parties.
Okay.
By the way. Right. So I bought into the phone parties. I created a good enough brand and put it out there. and one person got it, and then the other, and then
Okay.
100
Awesome.
parties a year. That did not happen with the magic classes, but
Sure.
I never really gave up on it.
Okay.
There were a few years where, like I said, I'm not gonna bother.
Yeah.
I have too much going on.
Right.
I do have a family, and I do have
Sure.
way too many projects.
Yeah.
You
Sure.
know? But this year I said, okay, this is my year. For some reason, I said this is my year. I think
Okay.
because the foam parties had given me enough confidence to say, you know what?
Yeah.
I sold that so well.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. The foam sold itself.
Well,
But now I had the confidence. I said, you know what?
Sure.
This year is going to be my year. So I reached out to a few schools, and nothing too proactive. Just say, hey, sent an email. Somehow this year they responded and said,
Okay.
come over, let's have a talk.
Nice.
And they had their pens ready. They're like, oh, this is good. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, you teach. Okay, wow.
Confidence
maybe
building. Yeah.
what's your what week are you free? And I said all of them.
Yeah.
I have you're the first ones. I
Aw.
actually I wasn't ready
Great.
for this. So now I have to teach a magic camp.
That's awesome.
No,
Yeah.
so I've taught a few,
Yeah,
but nothing where the same kids come back the next year.
Okay. Sure.
Like I taught a magic camp and they all loved it and it was great. And then I couldn't secure a location the next year.
Gotcha.
And now those kids are like 15 years old.
Yep. Yep. That's hard.
So it's been hard figuring out, but this year I'm really excited to
That's
do
so
some
cool.
full summer camps.
Yeah.
And that was never an option because I had a full-time job. Through
Okay,
all of this.
right, sure.
This is the first year where I have a full summer where I don't have a full-time job.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah,
work
nice.
with, I'll do odd jobs with my dad. He's got
Okay.
his company
Sure.
on the slow months, but finally during the summer, I'm free.
That's great. Yeah.
So I'm going to do,
Awesome.
I have 3 summer camps lined up,
Okay.
3 full weeks with a 4th one on the works.
Okay.
And
Hopefully more to come. Even. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
So
Well, and it also, I mean, you and I have talked a lot about branding and sort of creating like I don't want to say a culture, that seems too fancy, but just, the idea of if someone loves your magic show or if they have a great time at your foam party, it would be awesome if you were then able to show them these other cool things that you do, and so rather than just offering, here's the thing that I do and you liked it, great, glad you liked it, that's it, now we're done. Being able to, again, it's not, you're not also like a plumber, like it's not completely out of left field, like it's all in the same.
sometimes I am.
I mean, you can be a plumber too, it's fine for the right price, again, it's,
But not to those clients.
right. Yeah, exactly.
No, and
But yeah.
first let me say thank you so much. You've helped me over the years with my branding.
Oh, sure.
You've always
It's
been
always-
there to give some really good criticism and really good.
If there's one thing I'm good at, it's criticizing.
Yeah, gosh, I would go to bed crying and say,
Tears.
Peter said some things about my logo again.
Terrible.
But
I've never
no,
criticized your logo because I've made several of your logos. So that's
yeah, so that's the only way I could get away from
That's
the
right.
criticizing. I say, well, if he just makes it himself,
Right,
he
then
won't
he'll-
have anything to say.
he'll shut his mouth about it. Yeah.
No, you've been so helpful with it, and
Well, it's fun.
been a North Star for me, where I'm like, I want to be like Peter when I grow up.
Me too, but I don't want to grow up though. No, I mean, and one of the things I have used, the example of your bomb detonation case that I made for you.
Explain, please.
I guess I probably should before you get on an airplane,
find us.
So for your foam parties, you came to me with this really cool idea. You said, I would love to have a way where the person of honor, whether it's at a birthday party or whatever, it'd be cool for them to be able to start the foam cannon. And so you wanted, I think what you were asking for was just like a big red button kind of a thing where you hit the big red button and then that turns it on. And so I loved the idea, but then of course my imagination started going. I was like, we could do more than just a button. We should do there should be some stuff,
And you did.
And then I also appreciate you were kind enough to trust me. I basically just said, all right, I'm just going to go and I'm going to give you an idea of what it's going to cost. And I'm not going to show you what we have until like, boom, here it is.
Yeah, that was the best. That was like Christmas morning for me.
It was, well, and so, just a side note, I do have a build video of it. Like it was, Just for so
Roll the clip.
Anyone who wants,
Roll the clip.
It's I don't have it ready to go right now, but it is on YouTube. So if you look around on the YouTube channel, but what I have used that example for folks when like what I love is as much as I enjoy building my own stuff, it is all in this sort of look and feel, right? And I would never take a yellow Pelican case and put a bunch of modern looking switches and dials and LEDs in it for my show because it doesn't fit my show. So it was really fun to be able to do that. And I feel the same way about helping out with whatever sort of branding and logo type stuff. Like, again, I've got my own, here's the stuff that kind of works in my world. But the fact that you have a sort of rock star overarching brand, whether it's Birthday Party Rockstar or Rockstar Bubbles or the Rockin' Rabbit School of Magic.
Oh, you got them all.
Did I get it? Yeah. Birthdaypottymagic.com. But, the fact that that is a much different feel from the kinds of things that I'm creating. And so it's fun to be able to sort of like, I love being able to contribute to that, especially because it's different from what I'm doing, like aesthetically and everything.
It must be a fun exercise. I know something a little different.
Yeah. And that's what I'm just curious about the teaching, just really the little bit of teaching that I have done has been very rewarding because you do get a sense. Sometimes it's glorified babysitting, but in a lot of cases, you and I think back to teaching experiences that we had when we were budding magicians growing up. And you do sort of wonder, like, am I doing this for some of these young people? Like for most of them, no, but
that's the idea. I think that's where my original interest came from. And that was the drive. Of course, this is a good business. Or I think still to this day, it's going to happen. And by the way, my wife did really push against this one. And that's why I had to redeem myself with the phone parties.
Oh, no.
Yeah. No, she wouldn't let this one go. She said, it sounds like a scam. Why are you paying to be licensed to teach this? So honestly, the only reason why I haven't given up is so I can really show her,
That's great.
See, I told
Perfect.
10 years later, I made a profit.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the question? I just wanted to throw my wife in there.
There was no question. The question was, what other things are you trying to do that your wife doesn't is not a fan of?
Is not a fan of.
No, I don't want to
listen to her.
No, it's an interesting, because there is something, I think that's a lot of what we're trying to do with sort of branding is make it seem like a bigger institution. You talked about it earlier where like people would see Rockstar Bubbles and they thought that it was part of some bigger chain thing, and that definitely makes you, it not only makes you professional, but also, they have confidence when they're booking you to do a thing because they feel like it's part of a bigger something as opposed to just some guy who bought a foam cannon, which is exactly what it is, you know?
I think when it comes to branding, if you're not treating yourself like you're going to franchise it, you're shooting yourself on the foot.
Sure.
And I've learned, I think, partly from you and from watching others and from my own experience with Rockstar Bubbles, that if you don't put the effort into it and spend the money on the website and the SEO and the, if you don't do all those things, you might as well not have a website at all.
Yeah.
Because I have so many friends that say, I built my own website.
Right.
And it looks bad. It doesn't show up on Google.
Yeah.
Honestly, the point of the website is for it to show up on Google.
Sure.
I think.
Yeah.
And another good resource has been Google My Business or Google profile page or something.
Yeah, sure.
That along with a good website.
Right.
I think everybody should be using. And there's so many, especially entertainers, that say, well, I do word of mouth, and word of mouth is great.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah. You can have a really good business, but that will take years.
Right.
To get going. I moved to North Carolina after performing magic almost 10 years.
Right.
And I started from zero, and it took me years to get
Right.
anywhere close to the amount of gigs that I was doing in Maryland.
Sure.
And now, after doing the phone parties and doing all that, the branding and I'm doing as a company, because I do send out other people.
Sure.
We're doing over 300 events we did last year.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And
Nice.
I never in my wildest dreams, or well, I did have dreams, where
Maybe wildest,
where I
yeah.
would, at least gross sales over $100,000.
Yeah.
And
No,
we did it last year.
That's awesome.
And to me, that was my aspiration. I said, okay, if I can sell that, now I'm working on keeping some of that money. That'd be nice. So that's the next goal.
Okay, one step at a time.
One step at a time. Maybe I'll keep some of that money next year.
Sure.
After I pay Uncle Sam all the tax dollars that I haven't paid him.
It's lovely being self-employed, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
Having the time of my life.
Whenever my friends, must be nice, working for yourself. Like, listen, when tax season comes around, that is when I'm really jealous of you, because you get your little 1040 easy form and fill out 5 boxes. Meanwhile, the stuff that I'm doing, but it's
part of the business.
Sure. Yep.
Part of the business. And some people, are complaining to me. It's like, oh, I had to pay $100.
Oh yeah.
And I go,
right.
Last year I paid $5,000. And I didn't sell quite nearly what I sold.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, and it makes the refund feel less. I mean, anytime if I get a refund, it's only because I either overpaid or underestimated how many shows I'd be doing.
Yeah. No. I mean, and I'm not there yet where I've paid in advance. So I'm sure you do quarterly.
Yeah. Welcome to Tax Time with Peter and Paul.
The same thing. Wow. Yeah, turn it off. We're going to get to talk about taxes for a moment before
I tuned in hoping to listen to 2 magicians talk. Hey, listen, if people want to know what magicians talk about when we're not doing a show, this is honestly, branding and marketing and tax stuff.
By the way, I love talking about the business side of things. I'm not the best person to talk about it, but I do nerd out about it. And most of the podcasts that I listen to are business podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know that it helps in any way, but I listen to it.
No, I think it
makes me feel like a business person if I listen to business podcasts.
Well, and I do wonder, so I went to college for technical theater and I learned stuff, sure, but I also wonder, I sometimes regret not taking more business and marketing classes, because most of that stuff has been self-taught, which I'm sure is a lot. There's a lot of good resources out there. It's like, I don't need a degree in it to be able to do it, but it is, the fun part of my job is doing the show. The part that's not fun is, the contracting and the marketing and the driving there and driving back, but if it would it is, so many people have said that show business is 2 words and the first word is half the size of the second word. Like the fact that the business is the big word. The 2/3 of what you should be spending your time on.
Yeah. A few years ago, I told myself I was going to fall in love with the business.
Okay. Yeah.
And I've done that. And actually, I think the biggest part of that was getting married, having kids.
Sure.
Because it couldn't be a hobby.
Yeah,
couldn't be a hobby, and I couldn't excuse myself and say, I'm gonna spend the majority of my time thinking about this magic thing,
right?
And it's not gonna make us any money.
Sure.
So I had to tell my wife, no, this is a business.
Yep.
I'm gonna treat it like a business, and I told her I'm gonna make real money off of it.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for that to happen.
You're still you're making fine money for. I think the other thing
for
that's
a birthday
crazy,
party magician, right?
Yeah, well, it's a spectrum. The whole, but I love, again, the fact that you've been able to diversify, and sort of be able to have one client who you can do multiple things for in a year is awesome.
Yeah, I think
really
that's been the key.
Sure. Yep. Yeah.
If it wasn't for the foam, I think,
right.
I needed to find the next thing, right? And that fell on my lap when it did. And now I think we're gonna do well with the magic camps.
Sure.
And I'm truly excited about that. I think if we can build it so we have multiple weeks, maybe the entire summer mapped out, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and we've talked before about all of these things are kind of folding into if somebody visits your magic camp, then they may be interested in having you come to do a birthday party show. Or again, if they're at a foam party and they discover that you also teach magic or what, like it's all sort of hopefully symbiotic.
Yeah. And actually, for the longest time, I had a hard time with the magic classes because I didn't have a location. So it would have been amazing if I went to a birthday party,
right?
And I said, you can attend magic camp, and they said when, and I said this date through this date, this at this location. Instead, I said, I teach magic camps, and they're like, oh really, when and where? And I go, well, we don't have any locations at the moment, but I will let you know.
That sounds a lot more.
Sign up to this newsletter that I never sent anything to.
Sure.
Sad, and a lot of kids are interested, and they're like,
absolutely.
wow, how do you learn it? And I'm like, oh, well, you can learn it too. And now I can say that confidently and give them a sticker or
that's cool.
Whatever.
Now I get a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people ask me after shows, like that is a very common, do you give lessons, or are there any places where we can, and it is.
Send them to me. It's a short 5.5 hour drive.
It depends on, where they're based out of. I don't know. But yeah, I don't do a lot of North Carolina shows. So unfortunately, but no, it is hard because I also know that it's a lot cheaper to buy a DVD or a book than it is to hire a tutor for an hour, and so a lot of times what I'm trying to let parents know is like, let's get them a kit, get a magic kit that exposes them to a bunch of stuff, right? And once you sort of get a sense of where their interests lie, now they can sort of start to hone that in, whether it's with a teacher or whether it's with more instructional material. Because I think for a lot of people, it's just like, my kid enjoys watching magic and I would like to see if they can learn magic, but it's not exactly Hogwarts, right? It's not just like, right, once you learn magic, you find a teacher and they will teach you magic. It's harder, more nuanced than that, But I also like how the Discover Magic program is giving you just like a framework. Like if you did have no idea where to start, at least that is helping you.
I didn't. I couldn't have come up with half of this stuff myself.
But you had the showmanship. I mean, you had the entertainer abilities, which I think is the part that you can't learn. That's the part.
So
that was
those
made,
who can do and those who can't teach.
There you go.
So the problem is, since I can, I couldn't have come up with it myself. So I had to get the people that can't to build me a curriculum. Is that how it works? I don't know.
I don't know. So if your show was worse, you'd be a better teacher. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think that's. Yeah.
I think, you know what? We'll see how we do. I'm gonna hire some people that are better at teaching than I am.
Okay.
I'm gonna be the puppet master in the back, making sure everything is awesome.
Okay.
No, I really.
That's cool.
I think it's all about the experience. The magic is secondary to the life skills that we'll be teaching them. We teach kids the 8 traits of a true magician: being respectful, prepared, enthusiastic, confident, humble, creative, authentic, and giving. And if you don't remember all of those, they don't let you renew your license.
Ah, I see.
Yeah,
okay.
No,
all right.
I made that up. But
wait, no, you didn't make up the 8 traits.
No. They made that up.
Discover Magic made it up.
I have not come up with any of that.
Humble. I'm hung up on the humble part, but I'll try.
Confident, humble. Yeah. I had to throw that in because of all the Vegas magicians.
That's I wonder how many Vegas magicians would be able to pass the 8. What is it? 8.
Yeah, the 8 traits of a true magician.
True magician.
Yeah,
awesome.
Those people are not true magicians.
That's true.
So, each class has that as the backbone, and we teach a different trait.
Oh, cool.
Each class, and it goes along with a cool pre-recorded video, and Michael Amor makes appearance in some of those.
Oh, nice.
And a lot of those. All of those.
And you teach them humility by just like sitting them in a chair and telling them you think they look stupid, or
and go, be humble.
Yeah, exactly. Well, who has all of the 8 traits of a magician? That is my friend Paul Spring here. And so, if you want to find out more about Paul's adventures and what you're up to, and public shows, magic classes, foam parties, balloons, face paint, all the fun stuff. Birthday party.
Closing statement.
What is my problem? Birthdaypartyrockstar.com.
Wait, before you hit the button, you're the one that said said, "Hey, you should do birthday party rock star."
Really?
That was you.
When I said that, did I say potty?
No, and maybe I was like, "Wow, he has a weird accent."
So the idea that I had, I can't even say.
Yeah, no, you're the one that told me.
That's really funny.
Check if birthdaypartyrockstar.com is available.
Nice.
And on GoDaddy, and I bought it, and years later, everything is Rockstar because of you. You can't say it.
I can't
for your podcast.
I can say Rockstar just fine. It's the potty part that I have an issue with.
There is no potty part. Okay. You added that yourself.
Yeah. Well, if it was, I appreciate you giving me credit, and that means I can change it now if I want to.
No.
So, birthday party rockstar is both the .com as well as the social media handle there. Paul Spring, thank you so much for hanging out here. Me. Yeah, this was a blast. And to our friend listening, that is going to do it for this episode of the podcast of the impossible. But hey, did you know that I am making a museum of the impossible? I need as many people helping out as I can. So if you want to find out more about that, as well as public shows and social media and more, you can head on over to oftheimpossible.com. I'm Peter Wood. Thanks.